Extra video on demands. I am going to show you guys my perfected timetable on what I believe will happen with every asset that is known to humanity. Magnum opus is going to be formed today, people, and I am going to show you guys my timeline. Alright, depending on the amount of money that you have put into this market, I will let you know when you are going to become wealthy or a billionaire. Alright, all of that is going to be discussed in the video that we have today. Kindly share and like the video that we have today. Let's get started. To begin, I would want to establish the context by explaining to you all the reason that we are here in the first place. Doesn't the next meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee FOMC take place exactly 3 days from now, guys? The following week is going to be extremely significant, and it is going to be the most crucial week of our whole lives. Currently, the system is in place because of this individual. This person is responsible for its existence. Without a doubt, whomever is in charge of him is using him as a puppet, right? Because of, you got it, this individual right here, we are witnessing certain crises occurrences and black swans occurring now in the current time. This is the reason why we are experiencing these things. Who is in control? Is that clear? It is connected to each and every asset, since this is the method by which these assets are controlled to raise and lower their prices. The following is my master timeline, which I believe may play out in the future. In the first place, I would want to point out that this is not in any way a financial sin. This is something that can happen, something that cannot happen. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm incorrect, and that's the way it is, right? Nevertheless, if it does occur, it is going to spare me a great deal of headaches, since it is going to be relatively simple if this were to take place, so it is possible that it will not take place. But this is what I believe will take place. First, we are going to discuss Bitcoin, then we will go on to USET, and finally we will discuss XRP, Ethereum, and virtually everything that is known to humanity, including the dollar, gold, and everything else. Okay, let's get started with the video for today. At this moment, Bitcoin reigns supreme among other cryptocurrencies, and every alternative cryptocurrency is based on Bitcoin. No, the majority of them are falling behind, but in due time they will catch up. What is the perfected timetable for Bitcoin at this point? I feel that this is what it is, and it does not have to come to play with the men, but I think something along these lines, as shown here. It's time to pump and dump once again, all the way back up in order to create a liquidity squeeze. Afterwards, all the way down to the bottom of the bucket. At this point in time, I believe that there will be between 60,000 and 47,000 males here. As a result of bullish divergences manifesting themselves on the weekly period, we will be able to determine when the precise bottom will occur. When bearish divergences occur, we will be able to determine whether or not the top is going to be in. It is not necessary for us to be aware of the precise peaks and valleys. Rather, we must be aware of the trajectory. What do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be when this is finished? I believe it will be anywhere between 500,000 and 300,000. Do you agree? If not even higher, depending on what happens with the creation of money, because in my honest opinion, $30 trillion will be printed down here. Does that mean that this is the way forward for Bitcoin, guys? Despite the fact that it may appear to be a little insane, that is how things are on this channel. This chart is the reason why I believe that path is likely to take place, and it is because of this chart that I am referring to. What do you mean by tether? Additionally, it is the most stable currency currently available. At the time of this pump, money is flowing into this coin, which is USDT, from other cryptocurrencies such as XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. To put it another way, I believe that this coin is essentially the reverse or inverse of Bitcoin. Is that correct? First there will be a pump here, then there will be another dump, and then there will be another pump, folks, all the way down for the liquidity sweep, and then all the way back here before it goes down here. You are going to amass a fortune in this very location. That is the place where you are going to make a lot of money, and the reason for that is because it is the time when the entire season starts. This is the time when Bitcoin starts. In the event that Bitcoin's supremacy is plainly lost, but this is a good thing, right? The harshness of this situation needs to be brought to a head, don't you think? I believe that this is the place where you will become a millionaire sometime after the fall time frame. However, this will obviously depend on the amount of money that you have invested into the market. Additionally, it will depend on the assets that you choose to invest in, because some are going to perform better than others. For me, I would strongly recommend, and this is not financial advice, that you invest in XRP because it is the safest. In my humble opinion, this is not financial advice. Again, in my perspective, it offers the largest possible return on investment ROI, and it is simply the finest option in my opinion. On the other hand, I believe that this will occur once again and again, folks, in the same manner, going all the way down here and then going all the way down here, gentlemen. And it is going to just pass away, most likely at a somewhat higher altitude. This is something that I believe to be true due to the fact that there are 3 pockets of liquidity. Do you not see it? Additionally, pockets of liquidity appear exactly there at that location. Are you now able to comprehend the reason behind this segment, which by the way will be the recession? At that point, the price of Bitcoin collapses to anywhere between $40,000 and $60,000. Around $50,000 to $60,000 is likely to be the lowest point for Bitcoin. Here we are in the midst of the recession now. And when it does happen, this is all the money that has to be printed, fellow folks. Considering the liquidity of the situation, I believe that this is the direction that it will go. However, we will see what happens next should we go to Ethereum. Ethereum is going to be the same thing as what we just described, right? Is that correct, guys? Alright, let's speak about XRP, shall we? I continue to be of the opinion that it is going to fall, and I feel that the bottom will be located somewhere in this region exactly. After that, we are going to make our way all the way up to the top. Okay, right here. What is going to come after Bitcoin? At this point, we are going to search for negative divergences, and if we find them, it is likely going to go below $1 just like Bitcoin did. This $30 trillion money printing will start once it reaches this bottom, which is somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000. In addition, this is what will occur to those that have XRP. Alright, so something along these lines, and then, oh my, do you see that the year 2026 is the year that I believe it is? You are probably going to make a lot of money if you are the type of person that is involved in XRP men right now. Yeah, this is the recession that we are experiencing right now. $30 trillion are going to be printed. The conclusion is that everything is going to be a Bitcoin at the end of the day. Therefore, it is not necessary for us to discuss each and every alternative cryptocurrency that is currently known to mankind. Regarding the supremacy of Bitcoin, you guys are aware of the way here, right? I want to make it, and I want to move up to the upper chart. The reason why everything fits together so well is because if we do pump here, right, and Bitcoin does dump, look at this, it comes all the way down here, right? This is the reason why everything does line up so wonderfully. Keep your support, since the recession is going to happen right here, and at 75% Bitcoin should be at its peak. The dominance of Bitcoin should reach its peak, right? And then when this happens, that's when the craziest thing that's going to happen all season long starts, right? Are you sure that all of that liquid assets will be brought in within a single month, or at the very most within 3 months? Right, so when exactly will it be in the year 2026? It is finally 2026. Oops, well, wait on for a moment. Simply put, I'm taking on too much at the moment. Is it alright if Bitcoin's supremacy is ultimately brought to an end like this? Altcoins are projected to reach this level by the year 2026, with a potential increase of 100 to 1,000 times, if not more. Therefore, I anticipate that within this time frame, XRP will go from a minimum of $20 to a maximum of $100. Simply said, they are my perceptions. The Federal Reserve is the most important component that is lacking in this scenario, which is why I am stating this. Resurfaces once more with regard to this individual. No, the Federal Reserve has not printed $30 trillion. Even if it were 10, 20, right, it is necessary to print between 30 and 50 trillion in order for everything to go parabolic eyeballs. This is the only way that they will print such quantities. Why is that? Because they require an explanation for something that is destructive, for something that is really horrible, such as a black zone event that is on the magnitude of something that is 10 times worse than what we have just witnessed in the days that have passed. It is necessary for them to occur. At a price range of 30 trillion to 50 trillion, your alternative currency will give you 1000x, the equivalent of 100 to 1000x. I'm going to keep this video so that I may check it out at a later time to determine if we were right or not. Alright, the question is, what else should I discuss? Your curiosity may be piqued as to why I also have XLM in this location. To answer your question, the reason I have XLM is because, to tell you the truth, I am investigating XLM here in order to seek for a possible purchasing opportunity. Despite the fact that it is somewhat lacking in strength, I do not wish to get into too much detail regarding XLM at this time, since I believe that XRP is far more valuable, but that is just my view. Alright, let's move on to the dollar. The oncoming recession is influenced by the dollar, which plays a part in the situation. Okay, there are a lot of lines and a lot of things here, but there is this one line that I had drawn while I was drawing all of these lines a very long time ago, folks. On the other hand, there is this one line that I drew right here at 96, and you guys see this yellow line right here. It is a repetition of, take a look at this. It is going to come back to this, right?